We often get these messages about what we're supposed to do when it comes to career or business, to relationships, to life in general. And what I noticed when I started listening to my body is that some of those steps just wouldn't feel right. For me specifically, this was about business, but it really applies to any area of life. Like we sometimes get this almost like this blueprint for like, oh, just take these steps and then you'll get to where you want to be. But sometimes those steps just don't feel right. And for me in the beginning, it was quite hard to distinguish between is this just not right for me or is this just because I'm afraid? Because I think anytime we move in a direction that where we really want to go, we have these fears come up. It's uncomfortable to do new things. We might feel vulnerable or not ready or not good enough in some way. So it can be quite hard to distinguish like, is this discomfort just because I'm not doing the right thing, or is it that I'm afraid? And I've learned that there's not really a perfect formula for telling the difference. It's very much a personal experience, and it's about getting to know how your body communicates with you. But what I have learned for myself, which may resonate with you, is that fear often feels more like I'm actually pulled away. I want to sort of hit the brake. It actually feels like a physical tension in my body, or like I actually want to remove myself from the situation, which in my case was pretty intense, but it can be a lot more subtle than that. But fear often feels a lot more urgent. It feels like right now you have to sort of remove yourself from the situation, end whatever you're doing. Whereas misalignment can be a bit more subtle and it can be something that grows over time. It's more like this subtle ache of something is not quite right, and I can't pinpoint exactly what it is. And it might be really easy to ignore at first. So you might be in a career or a relationship or anything really where you feel like something's off, but in the beginning, it might be easy to convince yourself that it's fine, that it's not really there, and it tends to grow stronger over time. But it's usually not as urgent as fear. And it's really useful when you learn to recognize these different patterns in your body because the approach to these two is very different. When it comes to fear, it often means that it's still the right thing. You just might want to go a little bit slower, give yourself some calming activities, make sure that you feel a little bit more safe when you move in that direction. Whereas misalignment tends to tell you like this just isn't right. It doesn't resonate with who you are as a person, with your values, your morals. And that means that you probably want to do it differently, whatever differently looks like. It can be very, minimal differences. It can be in a totally different approach. That's something you can then play around with. But once you learn what your body's communicating with you when something feels off, you can take the approach that is fitting for that specific thing. And that's a very valuable tool to have. But this takes a little practice, and it can be really easy to start with little things, just tiny little decisions where you're like, does this feel right today? Or am I a little bit afraid here? And what are the sensations in my body that I'm feeling? And the more you pay attention to that, the more you learn about these ways that your body communicates with you. And it becomes a lot easier to follow its guidance.